The 2024 election is fast approaching, set for November 5th. Voters are casting ballots for the President of the United States. There are also several down-ballot races with big impacts, including in Portsmouth, Norfolk, and Suffolk. Voters in all three cities will see city council races on their ballots. Suffolk and Portsmouth will vote for school board members, and voters in Portsmouth and Norfolk will decide whether to re-elect their current mayors or bring in someone new. It's your voice, your vote.
Now to our election coverage as we take a look at various races in Hampton Roads ahead of November 5th.
So the race for Portsmouth Mayor features an incumbent, the city's vice mayor, and a political newcomer. Eugene Daniel talks with the candidates and shares their plans if elected come November.
Incumbent Shannon Glover, Councilwoman Lisa Lucas-Burke, and Harold Carruthers are on the ballot for Portsmouth Mayor. Glover touts progress over the past 4 years, including the opening of Rivers Casino Portsmouth and plans for an innovation district. He wants to focus on housing, especially for seniors, along with public safety and support for small businesses. But his top priority, if re-elected, is expanding workforce training and development.
Particularly in the maritime, offshore wind industry, distribution, and manufacturing.
Since Glover took office in 2021, there's been constant turnover at key leadership positions, including multiple city managers, and tensions among city council members have at times boiled over. The mayor says he's always worked to move the city forward.
We don't all have to agree, but when it's about moving our city forward, we need to all set aside petty differences and work collaboratively together.
We've already seen what the other guy has brought to the table. Let's try something different.
Vice Mayor Lisa Lucas-Burke says she will restore civility to council chambers. As for her agenda, she says she wants to reduce crime with more resources for violence interrupters, for recruiting and retaining police officers, and working with regional officials to find solutions. She also mentioned more affordable housing and healthcare options, along with plans for the now empty Portsmouth City Jail on prime waterfront property downtown.
To finally build out something that is unique to Portsmouth, something that is beautiful, something that will attract residents and citizens with housing and entertainment and shops and eateries.
Carruthers, the only candidate not currently on Portsmouth City Council, says the state of politics in his hometown pushed him to run.
It's showing the people that's looking at the city that obviously the people that run in this city, they don't know what's going on. You know, that hurts investors, that hurt people that want to invest in the community, that hurts people that want to move in the community.
He says he wants to bring unity back to the city.
Seeing the reputation for the city completely be destroyed by the current management and leadership, I figured I had to step up.
In Portsmouth, Eugene Daniel, 13 News Now.
Early voting is underway now in Virginia. You can head to your local registrar's office until November 2nd or cast your ballot on Election Day, November 5th.
Strong interest in Portsmouth city leadership this election cycle. 11 people are chasing 3 city council seats.
Yeah, it's an impressive group that includes 2 incumbents. We caught up with them at the Port Norfolk Civic League's Candidates Forum.
We've finally got a great bunch of candidates running. We haven't had that in a long time.
11 to be exact, all pitching their own approach to similar issues. Sharon Anderson, a business owner.
We need to clean up our image so that businesses will want to come here to the city of Portsmouth. That's the only way that we are going to lower any tax issues in the city of Portsmouth.
Bruce Lalonde, retired Navy captain.
If you are upset about real estate taxes, I need your vote. If you're concerned about why your utility bill screwed up, I need your vote.
Yolanda Edmonds Thomas, current school board member.
Because we know that one of the first questions that people ask before they move to a city is, how are the schools? So we want more people to come here to generate more tax revenue. That's one of the things we have to invest in when we talk infrastructure.
Melinda Johnson, retired Marine Corps and Army and business owner.
My leadership is just in speaking up for people, speaking up for the underdog. I have the passion to help others, a mother, a sister, a minister, and a leader.
The 11 will be pared down to 3. Currently, council has 7 members with only 1 woman.
I ask you tonight to consider putting more women on city council. It's critical that we diversify our leadership. Women think about public safety differently because we think about it all the time and often in the care of children.
That's Catherine Bryant, a children's ministry director at Trinity Episcopal Church. Kelvin Turner is the pastor of Zion Baptist Church.
Find new dollars, and that's why finding new entrepreneurs, making it easier for them to come into our city, to invest in our city, providing supportive programs for them so that they can ease the tax burden to the residents. Thank you.
Dr. William Dotson Jr., an endodontist.
The needs of the city include right now, as you know, getting crime down. I'd like to see crime down. I'd like to see poverty down. We have a 20%, almost a 20% poverty rate.
Davy Smith III, former Planning Commission chair and business owner.
And for some folks, they want to see more business. And when I just say business, more industry. Because if you bring industry can bring your taxes out.
Mia Phillips, owner of Phillips Construction.
So it needs to have more activities in Portsmouth and to woo the businesses that even left. Why did you leave? Why'd you leave Portsmouth? What do you need from us to make you come back?
And then there are the incumbents hoping to hold on. Dr. Mark Whitaker, pastor of New Bethel Baptist Church.
We have to address the poverty issue, the education issue, and then equity. Equity across taxing, equity across contracting. That impacts all of our community.
And DeAndre Barnes, a business owner.
Since being on council, our teachers and staff have gotten over 15% increase in their salaries. Our public safety has gotten an investment over $25 million.
The election is November 5th. And according to the Virginia Public Access Project, candidate Davy Smith III has raised the most money at $64,000. Kelvin Turner is in second with $29,000. Read and see more about what the candidates have to say on 13newsnow.com.
We're just 32 days until Election Day. On the ballot is the race for Portsmouth's school board. 5 of the 9 seats on the board are up for grabs.
And 7 candidates are vying for the positions. Miles Hood introduces us to the candidates.
We begin with current board member Lakeisha Atkinson, who goes by Clue and is seeking re-election. Atkinson says more work is needed to address major issues such as test scores, attendance, and proper compensation for employees.
I would love to see for us to open up a new school, a new K-8 school.
In addition to Atkinson, Ingrid Whitaker and Irene Boone are also running for re-election, but they did not respond to our emails for an interview or their top priorities. 4 others are running for the 5 available Portsmouth school board seats. Letitia Sessmans couldn't do an interview but told 13 News that addressing staff compensation along with student and staff mental health are her top priorities. 13 News Now managed to speak with 3 of the candidates who could be new faces to the board. Dr. Jackie Walker serves as Director of Curriculum Instruction for more than 18 Virginia private schools and wants to increase pay for all Portsmouth school workers.
So we need to ensure that all our educators, whether it's the bus driver, whether it is the cafeteria manager, whether it's the principal, that everybody is being paid correctly.
Arnett McSwain is another potential new face to the board after previously running in 2022. She's an Army veteran and retired Chesapeake Sheriff's Deputy and supports a variety of options for students after graduation.
I realized a lot of our kids still had the same opportunity that I had, which was military and college. They were their only choices. But I wanted to make sure our kids have different or have a variety of options before they leave.
SOL scores from the previous year showed Portsmouth Public School performed well below pre-COVID results in math, science, and history. Kendall Bradshaw, a former teacher in the Portsmouth division, is also running and says her biggest goal is to increase student achievement across all grades.
Money for mentors, remediation, because it's not just about the academics, it's also about the mental health of the students and the teachers as well.
While their priorities and career backgrounds are different, the Portsmouth School Board candidates share a similar goal, improving the division for all students. Miles Hood, 13 News Now.
And the top 5 vote getters will join the board at the start of the new year. It's your voice, your vote. In Norfolk, 2 people are hoping to unseat incumbent Mayor Kenny Alexander.
Eugene Daniel introduces us to the candidates and the issues they're fighting for.
Kenny Alexander, Giovanni Dolmo, and Tommy Lehman are running in the Norfolk race for mayor. Dolmo says issues in his neighborhood pushed him to run for office.
My priorities is crime. My priorities is a better economy. My priorities is flooding.
If elected, he says he'll push for better lighting and cameras throughout the city. He'll also advocate for curfews and more resources for youth. He says he has concerns about crime and education in the city.
It's just the standards are just too low in our community. It's time for someone to step up and run the city how it's supposed to be run.
But Alexander says crime is trending down after recently released Norfolk police data shows violent crime dropped 28% last year. The city's first black mayor says he deserves another term.
My background, my leadership, my experience, my vision, I believe is the right combination of skill sets to continue to lead Norfolk forward.
Among several things, Alexander cited progress on the city's casino project, set to start construction soon. He says the city's addressing poverty and diversifying the local economy, and he wants to tackle concerns about traffic safety, including maintaining roads impacted by heavy freight and container traffic.
But if we can get some of these containers on rail and get them off the streets, then we can start making improvements to our roads, our bridges, our medians, our right-of-way, and our public spaces.
Small businesses is the backbone to our community. It's a backbone to our city, and we have to make sure that we're helping them.
Lehman, a former chair for the Downtown Norfolk Council, says the city must help small businesses with grants and make the permit process easier.
We're not focused on education the way we should be. Another thing is also getting grants for communities that really need them.
Lehman, a former chair of the Downtown Norfolk Council, says he'd focus on issues that matter to the city of Norfolk, including giving more thought into collective bargaining. In Norfolk, Ashley Smith, 13 News Now.
All right, and as you know, you can cast your vote in a couple of weeks. Election Day coming up Tuesday, November 5th.
The presidential race isn't the only one you'll see on your ballot this election day. In Norfolk, there are 2 Super Ward City Council seats up for grabs. The incumbents are not running for re-election, leaving a slate of candidates vying for the spots. I spoke with the candidates running for Super Ward 7.
Election Day is in a matter of weeks, and on the ballot for many voters in Norfolk is the race for Super Ward 7. 5 people are in the running for a seat on City Council. Carlos Clanton.
I have the relationships, as you can see, within the endorsements from other elected officials at all different levels.
Philip Hawkins Jr.
We need to have leadership that will listen to the citizens and who will respond.
Rodney Jordan.
And it frustrates me to see people feel like they have to go down to City Council and sometimes beg and plead for that I believe they deserve by right.
Leon Judge.
We have to take care of the infrastructure. We have to take care of our roads. We have to take care of the city as leadership.
And Christine Smith.
I want to hear from the constituents and make sure that what's done in our neighborhood is done in their best interest.
All of the candidates acknowledge crime, affordable housing, and the economy are top issues for voters in Norfolk, and all of the candidates bring something different to the table. Smith acknowledges she's the only woman in the race for Norfolk City Council. Her top concerns are public safety and housing and code enforcement.
We can actually implement, or at least explore implementing, changes in zoning that requires developers to set aside a certain portion of their, be it rental property.
Judge is a veteran who served in the Marines and Coast Guard. He's focused on working to end homelessness, creating more affordable housing, reaching out to the elderly, addressing crime, and focusing on mental health.
We have a lot of issues, and a lot of the violence come from mental health. I want to help people be the best version of themselves for themselves.
Jordan is running under the slogan, Our City, Our Turn. He sits on the city school board and has previously served on the Norfolk Redevelopment and Housing Authority's Board of Commissioners and the Hampton Roads Workforce Development Board.
In our city, you have 2 wings, Super Ward 6, Super Ward 7. When those planes soar, when those birds soar to great heights, both wings are functioning. I think for too long in our city, we're trying to fly with just one strong wing.
Hawkins Jr. is a Norfolk educator and served his community as a Civic League president. A lifelong Super Ward 7 resident, Hawkins said public safety is his top priority.
Affordable quality workforce development housing. And so if we can put that kind of model together for the future of Norfolk, I think we're going to be much better off. More people will be able to come.
Clanton is a Norfolk school board member. He was the first and youngest African American to serve as the director of the Norfolk division of the Hampton Roads Chamber of Commerce. He's racked up some notable endorsements this election season. Among them, incumbent Councilwoman Danica Royster, who's not seeking re-election, and Senators Louise Lucas, Aaron Rouse, and Angela Williams-Graves.
The thing that I've been trying to make that connection when I talk to individuals in the community is we all pay taxes, but how can we lower your taxes? How can we lower the burden of those who live here in the area?
In just 3 weeks, voters will head to the polls to decide who will shape the future of the country and their community.
So 3 Suffolk School Board seats are on the ballot this November, and each candidate has a different vision for improving education in the city. Ashley Smith breaks down their top priorities for the district if elected.
7 candidates are vying for 3 positions up for grabs on Suffolk School Board. Nansemond Borough seat candidate James Shores believes the board should focus on enforcing policies and improving student conduct.
One of the number one concerns that parents and even bus drivers I've heard from is behavioral issues and discipline, and not necessarily backing up teachers, which basically equates to what I consider appeasement of those behaviors.
His opponent, Valerie Fields, said in part in a statement that she plans to prioritize advocacy and, quote, communicating the accomplishments and challenges of the Suffolk Public Schools honestly and accurately to local, state, and federal legislators. In the Sleepy Hole borough, Heather Howell is the only incumbent vying for re-election. She said in part in a statement that the school board should focus on, quote, enhancing school safety, recruiting and retaining highly qualified teachers, ensuring that special education is a budget and policy priority, and continuing to encourage and enhance community engagement. Her challenger, Carly Bosco, agrees teacher retention is important and believes improving the work environment is just as crucial as increasing pay.
And I think if we can take steps to show that we're trying to increase the positive and, supportive culture within the district, that can help make teachers want to stay and want teachers from other areas or new teachers to join us.
Whaleyville Borough candidate Sean McGee wants to address recent security concerns in Suffolk schools.
What we need to do is do a risk assessment and vulnerability assessment of all Suffolk public schools, list out weaknesses and gaps, and look for ways to fund and mitigate those threats.
Jonathan Rankin is also running in Whaleyville. He shared in part in a statement that he aims to, quote, improve student achievement by ensuring every child has access to high-quality education, emphasizing the need for stronger support for teachers, better education tools for students, and more involvement from parents and the community. Rankin and McGee face opposition from Thelma Hinton, a former Suffolk School Board member who's calling for infrastructure upgrades and improved communication methods to enhance school safety.
I would love to make sure that schools that have open fields, that we fence those schools. All of the hall monitors, I would love to see walkie-talkies for them as well. My goal is to make sure that every child is safe.
Ashley Smith, 13 News Now.
With just 2 weeks to go until Election Day, we continue to dig into our local races. In Suffolk, 3 city council seats are on the ballot. Lou Ward is running unopposed for the Nansemond borough, but someone is challenging the incumbent in both the Sleepy Hole and Whaleyville boroughs. Tonight, we introduce you to the candidates vying for those seats.
The common theme among all 4 candidates for Suffolk City Council is dealing with the city's growth. In the Sleepy Hole borough, which includes Driver, Bennett's Creek, and Harborview, incumbent Roger Fawcett is focused on these things.
Quality of life, city services, keeping taxes low, smart growth, making sure our public schools are well maintained, as well as funding, the economic development, traffic congestion, and maintaining our AAA bond rating. Those are the key things that we got to continue to work on.
Fawcett has served on council for 12 years. His challenger, Ebony Wright, also mentioned schools.
Suffolk is one of the largest cities here in our state. It is the largest city in our state. And so there is enough room and enough land for there to be affordable housing, for us to have a better student to teacher ratio, for us to not have to sit in traffic because we're trying to put so much right in the north part of the city. So when I talk to citizens across the Sleepy Hole borough, those are their concerns.
Then there's the Whaleyville borough, which is more rural and includes areas just south of downtown all the way to the North Carolina border. Incumbent Leotis Williams is defending his seat after 1 term on city council.
My main purpose of running was to be that voice for the people who I feel, and with myself included, that didn't have a voice. And we've been able to get a lot of things done as it relates to getting roads, milling and paving throughout the Whaleyville borough and throughout the city.
Jason Wooldridge, an engineer, is running against Williams.
I think Suffolk needs to be better, not bigger.
And I just think that we are on the wrong course. We don't want to stop the growth. We want to do it smarter, and we want to do it in the areas that really it makes more sense to do it in. So I'm not in it for me. This is not about me. This is about my community and trying to serve my community and make it a better place.
That's just a snapshot of what the candidates told me. You can read more about their ideas by clicking on this story on 13newsnow.com. And if you haven't voted yet, you can send us a text message and we'll send you a link to our Virginia voter guide. It includes who's on your ballot, voter registration deadlines, and more. And speaking of deadlines, this Friday is the last day to apply for a ballot to be mailed to you.